Another day of patience, man. We got to practice patience, or not got to. We get to practice patience again today, which is good, right? I think that's one of the biggest things I need in my trading. But today there wasn't many opportunities, and first we'll just go over the news and why. Right, we had 8:30. We had PPI. So we had PPI come out, and that was what this was right here. It was about a 70, 80 point candle. Nothing too insane. And then tomorrow we have CPI. So I think today is just generating sell side liquidity. All these lows that we're making here, 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 right? I think all of these lows are going to become maybe a target. Maybe we're manipulating higher. Who knows? Maybe we rip up tomorrow on news. But I could see this just becoming the generated liquidity for CPI to rip through and liquidate people's orders tomorrow. So going into the day, I had a bearish bias. In my journal, I wrote down going into the day at 8:45. I'm looking for shorts. What day is it? The 13th. So I was looking for shorts. 8:13. 8:13:24. I was looking for shorts. We have a higher time frame bearish SMT. So we had a higher time frame bearish SMT, which was, I'll show you on the 1 hour. Right here we had an SMT, and I believe we still do. Yeah, because this is the high on the 1 hour. This is the high that we took out in NQ. This is ES. Obviously, we're down here. So we took out this high in NQ, which was a bullish SMT inside this 1 hour bearish fair value gap right here. So we had an SMT with a bearish fair value gap, and it lined up with us sweeping out this high. So going into the morning, I was actually bearish, and I'll continue reading my journal about what I was looking for. So that was a higher time frame SMT, and we are generating a ton of low resistance liquidity to the downside because we had boom, boom, boom. We're at 8:45. I was here at 8:45, so we have boom, boom, all of this, these lows. We had all of these lows. We had all of this yesterday, and I want to highlight on this. If you've been keeping up with ICT's 2024 mentorship, he's been talking about the new week gaps and new day gaps. Notice how yesterday we kind of find support inside this new week gap. I'm not, I don't know what you do with that information, but it was pretty interesting. And the new day gap today, again, is pretty interesting that we literally reverse off the tick of this. And that was London's low. So some interesting stuff. I'm definitely going to keep forward testing and marking out my charts because I think it actually has some valid stuff, right? And it's kind of interesting to see how that stuff reacts. But that's about his 2024 mentorship that he's been posting his live streams. So I've been checking those out to try and brush up on that stuff and maybe pick out some new information that I never had heard about, right? Because I guess get it from the source, even though I don't, there's all those things about if ICT actually is profitable, not profitable. I mean, who knows? Who cares? But that was something I observed today too, right? I just don't know how you really use those, but this was my main target because if I continue reading, which is London low and the new day opening gap. So London low and new day opening gap is my main target, is what I wrote down because we had swept this high with the news, but I wanted to see maybe an SMT get put in here and then some displacement through the lows to validate some shorts, right? Our bias just wasn't correct. My alternate bias was we need a lot of structure and a sweep of the lows with a strong reaction and maybe SMT, or if we have a higher time frame fair value gap that we tap into, like a 1 hour down here or something, 15-minute, or if we left equal highs. If we left these equal highs and sold off, I would have then become very bullish for the day, but we didn't. So the bullish bias, even though it was bullish today, the alternate bias I never got because I wanted to see us retrace lower, maybe sweep out these lows, something like that to validate longs. But I'm not going to look to take longs above overnight highs. I just don't want to do it. And I don't really want to take longs here because there's no clear draw on liquidity, right? Besides this new day gap that we had from a while ago, I don't know how much validity it holds. So that's one of the reasons. And actually, one of the best features on Top Step X is the manual lockout, just in case, right? I didn't take any trades today. No trades. Again, it's 2 days in a row, no trades. I'm starting to lose my mind. But we're sticking to our rules. We're still the same balance, and we locked out both of our accounts. So we can't take a trade today. We can't force anything. We can't get greedy. We can't get emotional and place an order, right? So that's one of my favorite features about Top Step X is that you can lock yourself out, because I could sit here and during the charting session see something and be like, you know what? Maybe I want to take a stab at this, and I'm glad that I can't do that because it just protects me from making dumb decisions. So how do we handle this? If the day goes up and doesn't give us shorts because we were short bias, what do? We don't freak out. We don't start wondering if we know what we're doing. We don't start, questioning how the reprice action. We don't do any of those things. We just were on the wrong side of the market. And guess what? The best part about being on the wrong side of your bias and not getting something to validate the other bias is that you just don't lose. You don't lose. I don't lose today. I don't have to lose. I don't have to lose money. I don't have to have a bad day. I just get to watch price action. I get to chill, and I just get to learn, right? I get to observe price and get more reps. So there's no downside to a day like today. But if we continue going over the market, I'll go over some of the best opportunities I saw that I didn't take that would have worked out very well. So if you did feel like you were really bullish, maybe I could show you guys a little bit of some trades. So anyways, we come up off open, we run up. I wanted to see maybe this get inverse, start going lower because that's my original bias. We don't. We come back up higher, and that's why I have this 15-minute fair value gap marked out here. It becomes important. I think this was the only valid trade of the day. If you wanted to really take a trade and force something, we had a 5-minute right here that's marked out. We had a 5-minute gap here that held very, very strong. Notice this candle that tapped the 15-minute and a 5-minute order block. So down close candle supporting price on the 5-minute. We had a order block here, a bullish order block. So that was cool to see. And this was back in the day. I doubt there's a single person that watched me in like January or February when I was posting. But if you did, you would know that my bread and butter setup was the 15-minute to 2-minute IFVG or fair value gap tap, where I would look for basically, and honestly, if you guys are new to trading, I would actually listen to this. This was my old strategy that I kind of invented, right? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't I say invented, but it's not. I just kind of thought of it myself. And it basically is a no bias strategy where you don't have to have a daily bias. You just look for 15-minute fair value gaps after market open, right? So technically this one at 8 wouldn't be valid in my eyes because it was made before market. So any fair value gap made on the 15-minute in favor or after 9:30 open is a valid area to look for this setup. So this candle here, 9:30 candle, this was a 15-minute. So I would drop to the 2-minute and just see if I could get a 2-minute bullish fair value gap or a 2-minute fair value gap in the direction of the fair value gap. So I'm saying fair value gap a lot, but bear with me. So the 15-minute here, right? This 15-minute fair value gap, if you were to see that this is bullish, you would be looking for it to come into it and make a 2-minute bullish fair value gap outside, out of the 15-minute. So what that would look like is a fair value gap here, just around here, right? Or you look for a 2-minute inverse fair value gap, which is a bearish fair value gap breaking, obviously. So right here, I would have been looking for this bearish 2-minute, the break, and then get a trade off of that. This used to be my model that I would trade every time because it had no, I didn't have to use a draw on liquidity or daily bias or anything. And it works very well without a bias. But the problem is with stop losses, the RR sometimes isn't amazing. If you notice here, the take profit would be this swing high because you don't have any valid draw on liquidity. And then your stop loss, I used to test the stop loss being the swing low that tapped the 15-minute. That's a little bit crazy. I think that this is valid too. But regardless, your RR is still pretty trash. It's 0.78. It's not even a 1-to-1. But I do recommend to anyone that's getting into ICT concepts, honestly, if you want to learn how fair value gaps work, start looking for the 15-minute, 2-minute setup just to like start getting your feet wet with these concepts, because this, like, funny enough, actually ended up being the only like decent setup of the day. And again, I didn't take it because this was kind of like the only draw. This new day opening gap from a while ago is there technically, but it's just like I don't have much conviction trading to those. Also, we have a high here, which is a 4-hour, which I think we're drawing towards. But outside of that, we just have like just low resistance liquidity from overnight sessions, so it's just not that like important to me, I guess. So that's kind of where I was at today with that. I saw the trade set up and I just didn't want to take it, but the bullish confluence there was pretty high. If again, just reading over the chart, we had a bullish order block right here that we really nicely respected, a 15-minute imbalance overlapping with that order block, and a market open order block, so that's even like stronger confluence. Something that was interesting too, that the reason we actually end up selling to there, is we had double SMT, so we were showing clear weakness here. That's why we kind of stalled. ES was holding us up a little bit, and then we end up selling through, sweeping out this low here, which is at 955. So we actually end up sweeping the low from, this was a 30-minute fair value gap as well. So we had a lot of bullish confluence here. This was a high confluence area. This is a bullish fair value gap right here on the 30-minute. So that was just a high confluence area for price to reject from if we were really strong. Like, we should not have really gone through there if we were bullish, which we were. And this fair value gap broke, and you'd be in. If you got in off the 1 minute, you would have gotten in the same spot. But yeah, so this trade wasn't even terrible. I just, again, didn't have any conviction really taking that setup because, again, I'm trying to align higher time frame draws, clear draw liquidity, market maker models. I'm trying to really take the best probable setups, the ones that I have the most faith in, that if I did lose, I wouldn't be upset, right? If I took this trade and lost, I'd be pretty upset. Why? Because we had a lot of chop here, so this is not really clean area. Obviously, we get the displacement, run through it after sweeping low. So this is a good reaction. This is a good signature in price, but I would be pretty disappointed to take a loss here just because the risk reward isn't amazing, and also there's just really there's really just nothing telling me that we're just really like drawing towards something higher, right? There's no higher time frame bias to align myself with, and I think that's really important, is just to really always align yourself with these higher time frame draws on liquidity and like actual like valid points of interest in the market, rather than just being like a pattern trader, right? This is more of a pattern trade. Again, if you're really, really new, like brand new, and you don't really have an entry model, do the 15-minute to 2-minute. You'll have success. One, you'll have success. Two, you'll start actually learning about fair value gaps, the draw and liquidity. You'll start seeing you'll start seeing it work, and you'll be like, wow, this actually is amazing. And then you'll realize like why you can't just blindly follow it, because sadly, there's no real like setup that you can just take 100% mechanical with like no higher time frame bias. But honestly, dude, I think you could pass evaluations with that setup. I think you could do well. Like, it's not a bad setup at all. A bad model. It's just a little bit like trying to find a golden ticket when there's no like golden ticket in this game. And I remember, again, like I said, back in January and February, I used to trade that constantly because I thought it was so amazing. And it worked all right. But the problem was that I was just looking for something so I could avoid having to understand the drawn liquidity. So I think, again, the main problem with most people is just context and narrative in the market. With ICT concepts, if you don't know like where the drawn liquidity is and you're not confident, that's like a clear sign to just not trade. That's what, like, today when I was sitting here, I was like, okay, I don't even have a clear drawn liquidity today. Like what am I even actually looking for here? Like, there's really just nothing for me to do today, because I don't know where price is going. If we're not bearish, I don't have any real targets. So to the upside, like, where would I be targeting? Where would I be trying to enter? We're not getting a deep enough retracement. We're not really sweeping any higher time frame liquidity. So there's just no real setup for me. And getting to that point to be able to be like, recognize, okay, there's no setup for me. Let me just chill. Let me just not trade today and just be calm about it. It is annoying because I would love to make money towards my account, but I'm having to get to the spot where I can just be really content with not taking trades and being able to just learn from these days and be patient, right? Because if I were to have forced the trade here, it would have technically worked. But what if I took this trade and it lost, right? And it would just be an unnecessary loss to take. But again, it shows that the two ideas that we could have taken this week, right? We didn't trade yesterday, would have been a fantastic trade. We didn't trade today, and it would have worked out, right? That's 2 winning days, right? So even though I don't have them under my belt with my account growing, it just kind of shows that that it's there, right? It's not like the market's disappeared or the strategy is no longer possible or I can't see the market at all. Like, I was reading the market well. Everything in price action made sense today, right? The fact that we stalled here because of the double SMT, the fact that we sold off, swept this low, had a very bullish reaction and closed above this inverse, and the fact that we held this 5-minute in this order block and then we ran higher, that makes sense. Like, it's all stuff that makes sense in price action. There wasn't anything that just went against what was on the charts. So that was cool to see. And that's just kind of how you have to look at it. Is like, okay, is this bad? Is this like a bad day, or whatever, or is it just a no trade day, right? Because there's a difference between a bad day where the market's just being weird and a day where there's no opportunity, right? The market worked exactly how it's supposed to work, right? It held price the way it's supposed to hold price, and it moved how you could expect price to move, right? And it just didn't give me an entry, and that's perfectly fine. And I think that's where just being calm about not taking trades is very important, because it's frustrating for sure. Like, I would love to be up money today, but at the end of the day, that's just because I have targets. I'm trying to pass an account. I'm trying to get payouts, right? So it doesn't even come from a place of like proper trading. It just comes from a place of being bored, right? Like, I sit down here and watch the markets and no opportunity comes, and it's like, wow, that was a boring day. Like, I didn't get to do anything, right? And that's just not really how I want to be looking at it going forwards. I want to look at today very positively, because I am very happy with today and how I managed today, right? Again, I really couldn't have lost today because there was no setup that failed. But should I have even won today? Probably not, because there's really nothing going on that I would need to be involved in. And especially at this point, we're at 11:40. There's absolutely nothing I'll be doing. And I would just wait till tomorrow and see what happens with the news driver. Yeah, I mean, going into tomorrow, what I would recommend everyone do is just, I'm going to watch ICT's live stream from today. I wasn't watching it live this morning. I don't like to watch things live when I'm trading. But I'm going to go back and watch his review. I'm going to work on some other things and outside of trading, and just, work out and maybe hit legs, but I don't know, and go for a run, right? So I just think on these types of days, it's just best to not worry about not progressing your account or taking trades, and just go do other things, get better at other things. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the trade recap today. The market moved all right, and we're just trending up. There's nothing you can really do about it. Do not sit here and stress yourself out about taking setups to try and target low resistance liquidity, right? Trendline liquidity. Like, it could work, but there's just no real need to do that, right? There's just no need to be stressing yourself out, taking opportunities, because it is stressful. When I was sitting here earlier today, I was kind of getting, at first when we put in this 1-minute inverse, right? One reason I'd say this failed, if anyone took this trade, because it could have looked all right in the moment. The reason I wasn't curious at all about taking this trade and wasn't even trying to take it is purely because of the way that it closed. And I learned my lesson a week or 2 weeks ago about something like this, where notice how we had double SMT, so it's like, okay, that looks kind of bearish. We'll probably at least get to these relative equal lows if we close below. Notice why this one fails is because we close here, right? We almost close here. We put in a swing low. We come up higher, we come lower, and then we inverse here, but we never really close below a wick, right? So we put in a wick here and we close here. So we inverse right here, but that inverse does not break structure, if that makes sense. So we don't break structure to the downside by closing below this body. So that told me that this inverse was going to be very sloppy or probably fail, which it was both. We were sloppy and we failed and we broke back above. So that's one thing with inverses that I really recommend you guys pay attention to, is that if you have like something like this, it wouldn't even be worth taking this trade anyways, because it would be pretty low target. But we can't even close below the swing low, it's probably a fake out move. So that's one thing I did want to talk about. But yeah, overall, interesting spot where we're at in the market. From London low, we're up a good amount. So tomorrow, maybe we come pull back. Not really sure what we're looking for here. On the 4 hour, we are drawing towards this fair value gap. So I think that's kind of where price is headed towards the fill in this massive imbalance. But that will just make, again, tricky on the higher time frame, right, to know where we're drawing to. I'd be very shocked if we just start running to this high without some sort of pullback to get these lows, because this is a lot of just low resistance liquidity, and this is a 4 hour, so it doesn't look as crazy. But on the 1 hour, this type of price structure just doesn't really make too much sense to me, where we're just kind of like really slow, choppy, and then we get a move up. I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of reaction at this high here in this imbalance. But yeah, so that's where I'm at on the charts. That's all I really got there for the review. But one thing I did want to say was I'm thinking about, and this is kind of just like off topic in terms of the chart review, but so if anyone's done watching the video and you're just here for the review, you for sure by all means dip, because I might just ramble about some random stuff. But dude, I've been thinking about, I really want to get on the trading TikTok and the Instagram. Not to like I don't want to be on there, right? But I want to start growing a personal brand on those platforms. But I like the YouTube community so much better. Like, I actually mess with the guys that are always commenting on the videos, and like I actually see a lot of the same people, and a lot of people show up every day for these. And it's cool because I'm building like a community of people that I think everyone that watches these videos actually is like trading and actually like knows what they're doing, to, in the sense of like they're getting better every day, they're putting in work. And I just don't really want to go on TikTok and then find all the people that have like no attention span, and then it just kind of like dilutes the YouTube community that's been growing, because right now that's all I'm posting on. And outside of even just trading stuff, like I've always wanted to grow a personal brand on social media, just to have, because I think it opens up doors for you in your life. Like, you can go on podcasts if you have a big enough brand, you can meet people, you can network. So I really do think that I need to take advantage of TikTok, but I just have no idea what I'd post on there, bro. Like, trading TikTok's just kind of terrible. It's just horrible. It's either just people showing paper trades with 20, 30K trades that they popped out of nowhere, and then they're spamming their Discord with no proof of being profitable, right? I have no problem with people selling a Discord. I have absolutely no problem with it. I have the problem with the people that have zero credibility, that pop out of nowhere, and then now they're selling a Discord. It's like, bro, like at least have some sort of track record before you sell one, because I completely understand why people sell a community. I really do. And honestly, I would probably sell a community myself if I was in a position where I was profitable consistently and I could genuinely provide a lot of value and create profitable traders and create monster traders. Obviously, that's not where I'm at right now, so I wouldn't do it right now, but I probably would do one of those communities as well, because it makes sense, right? If you're making 10 grand a month trading, right? If you're making 10K a month trading, and you know how to trade, you've been consistent, and you know how to explain things, and you're really confident what you're doing, by all means, if you're making 10 grand a month trading, why wouldn't you scale a Discord? Because there's a lot of money in it, right? And people love to say, oh, like, if that person's making so much money trading, why do they have a Discord? Because they're making over 100 grand a year trading, which is more than most people, more than almost everyone besides the 1%, right? Like, 100 grand a year is ridiculous money, bro. I think people forget that that's like a ridiculous amount of money that Americans just don't make with college degrees, with big jobs. It's like the average salary is like 30K, 20K, something like that, like 25K, 30K. And like the medium salary is probably like 50 to 60K. So if you're making 100K a year pressing buttons on your computer, bro, you are a phenomenal trader. So it's like people are like, oh, why would you, if you're so good at trading, why would you sell Discord? Bro, because, and this is me rambling, so I hope that people stopped off the video back at when I was saying I was done. But this is something I've been thinking about. And it just bothers me because there's so many people that are so negative on TikTok. That's why I don't really want to get on there. That say, oh, trading doesn't work, trading doesn't this. It's just people selling courses, just fake gurus. But it's like, think about it from a fake, or not a fake guru. Think about it from a someone that runs a Discord's perspective, like Dodgy or Justin. I think Justin Werlin makes a lot more money trading than Dodgy. I definitely do. I think they both make money trading. I don't think Dodgy can actually even be honest about how much he makes. I don't think it's as much as people would want to hear, right? Trading, but I do think he's very profitable trading, right? Again, like I said, 100K a year, 50 to 100K a year trading is phenomenal. But trading TikTok and trading influencers want you to believe that if you're not doing 500K or $1 million a year or 100K a month trading, then you're doing something wrong. And that's just not the case. And I think it's why the community and the space is so poor with marketers, is because someone that actually makes 100K a year trading, they're going to lose business on their Discord to the person that says they make 100K a month trading, right? So it's like, I mean, I'm not even trying to call out like Dodgy or like say that he's not making a lot of money, but I feel like he's making around like 50 to 100K a year trading, which again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe he makes like $500,000 or $1 million. I have no idea. I don't like keep up with his stuff, like how much he's making. I don't know how big his position sizes are. Like, I don't really like, I just look at I just look at every once in a while his videos, and I'll look across like, to see like every other day I'll look at what trades he took and stuff like that, and the recaps and stuff like that. But I don't even follow anyone on social media for trading, mainly besides TJR, just because I think TJR is kind of revolutionizing like how the actual content works, like not his trading. But regardless, I don't really like to be on Instagram and see people having big winning days and all this stuff, because kind of mess with my psychology. I just like to kind of do my own thing because I have my own system I'm trading. I know what I'm looking for, right? Not that I invented my system, but like I know what I'm looking for. I know how to read markets. But with like Justin, TJR, or Dodgy, like, again, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't want to say that he makes $50,000 to $100,000 a year trading and just be really wrong and like be insulting about it. But like, and again, that's a crazy money. But I don't think he makes much more than that. I really don't. I can't see how he does with how he scales trades unless he trades really big size, which I don't think he does. I'm pretty sure he trades micros. So again, Dodgy can't even be honest. Like, notice how he never talks about how much he actually makes, right? I mean, he'll say like a figure kind of like 10 grand, something like one of the videos was like 10 grand in the last few months or something, or like last month or so. Like, but whenever people ask him directly of like, yo, how much have you actually made? He's never going to say, and it makes sense because, and it's sad that it makes sense, but it makes sense because if he's making, let's say 50 grand a year from trading, or 100 grand a year in trading on average, why would he ever say that online? Because even though it's amazing, 100K a year is unreal. 50K a year, I would be happy with 50K a year. I don't need more than 50K a year. I don't need more than, like, I mean, shoot, 50K, I would like to make more, but, like, obviously, we're all trying to make more money. But if I was making 50K a year, bro, I'd be well off. I would never like, that would be a salary. I would really be aggressive of how to invest my money and stuff like that, because I wouldn't want to have to be trading 50K a year. Like that's a salary where you're working till 60, like if you like it or not. So yeah, it would be nice, but 50K a year to 100K a year is so good that people don't understand that how good it is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that's why all these people can't even be honest about how much they actually make trading, and they have to be cryptic about, oh, I don't need to disclose that personal information about how much I make. Bro, why not? Like, but I understand, because if Dodgy came out and said that he was only making 50K a year, or if he only makes 100K a year, then every single person that sees his stuff that's new, that doesn't actually know that he provides value, will be like, 50K a year, bro? Like, really? Like, I'm not going to pay you to watch your live trades and make 50K a year. Like, I'm trying to make $1 million. And all these people think and that's why, again, TikTok, the TikTok brain, I don't know if I want to be on there, because, bro, every single person there thinks that just making $1 million a year is like the first goal, right? I think you can make $1 million a year trading for sure. I want to hit $1 million a year trading. I do eventually, but it's not like, and not to set boundaries or anything or limits. Like, I want to hit $1 million a year trading for sure, just as much as anyone else. But the reality is, that you just have to scale, like you just have to get better and better and better and scale your account to that point, right? It's like making $1 million a year has nothing to do with your skill level, or it does, but doesn't have as much to do with your skill level as it does your account size or your mental, right? So these good traders have to look like fake gurus because they can't show true data of how much they actually make, because the person that's lying about making $1 million a month is going to take all the business in this game. And that's kind of what I don't like about this space, because again, if you're making 100 grand a year trading, or 50 to 100 grand, that's really good. Sell a Discord. Sell a Discord. If you can consistently be profitable month after month, year after year, and you're making 50 to 100 grand a year, sell a Discord. Sell a service, because you're providing value to people. You know how to make money, and like you actually know how to trade. Sell a Discord, because now, boom, now that 50K to 100K that you're making a year, if you just have a Discord, 30 to 100 bucks a month, whatever, and you get some members in, bro, now you're making like anywhere from 10 to 50 to even like 100,000 extra dollars a month. 10, like easily can make 10K a month if you know how to use social media and you know how to promote it, and and you actually are a good trader and people actually benefit. You can make 10K a month. So think about that. If you can sell a Discord service and you're trading, let's say you make 100K a year trading, now you're making double your salary in 1 year just because you can teach a skill that you already have. So that's why people that say, oh, if you made so much money trading, you wouldn't be selling a course. Bro, why would you not double your yearly salary from trading? You make 100K a year trading, top percent of Americans in the world. You make 100K a year trading, but you also want to not be stressed and you want to like make extra money. Boom, now if you could even make just 10K a month from your Discord because you are a very good trader at that point, why would you not do it? That's why I don't understand like all these kids that are so worried about, is this a fake guru this, fake guru that. Bro, just learn how to trade, dude. Learn how to trade. Don't worry about if this person's scamming or that person's scamming. If they're scamming, bro, just learn from someone else. And it's like, people get so caught up in things that don't matter. Like, oh, does this guy, like, how much money does he make? How much of this? Just learn how to trade. Learn from someone that has a proven track record that, like, you can either watch them trade live, they give good information. Like, just find someone that actually you learn from that makes sense, and then you develop a system and just learn how to trade. Don't worry about this and that and whatever, because you're not going to be able to trade if all you're doing is looking for reasons why it won't work and why that person can't trade, right? So that's my biggest thing, and that's kind of like a tangent off the topic of me going on to TikTok and Instagram. But I do want to get on those platforms. I just don't really know how I'm trying to go about it, because it's like, dude, what do I post on there? Like, I can't stand the TikTok trading space. So do I just do like a personal lifestyle? Because, dude, I mean, I got stuff that I'm training for. I'm training for different marathons, and I'm trying to get my bench back up to 315, because I used to be big into powerlifting and stuff like that. Like, and I feel like I could do some fun stuff on there. But yeah, I would like to make a whole separate video about what I'm trying to do with trading and the future stuff, plans I got for stuff like that. Because I do feel like I actually have a little bit of a community growing on this YouTube. Like, there might be a few people watching to this part of the video, which even if there's like one person or like 5 to 10 people that are at this point, that's 5 or 10 people that like genuinely at least mess with what I'm saying, like doing on this channel. So that kind of is cool to see. And again, like I've said, I've always wanted to grow a personal brand on social media. Like back in the day when I was in high school, like junior, senior year, I was running up a fitness Instagram or TikTok and Instagram that was like, I got like the 30, 40K on TikTok and stuff like that, and on influence and stuff. And I just messed with it, bro. That's how I bought this computer. I made some money. And I just like, and I even bought this camera. Hold up. I even bought this nice camera with the money I made from fitness stuff. And I just messed with making content, dude. And I want to get back into it because, like I said, it opens up opportunities for you that you wouldn't have had before. But, dude, it's like that's why I think my trading's kind of struggling, because I love trading and I want to make money from trading. But I also, like, want the money from trade. Like, I don't need money. I don't want money. I'm not, like, greedy for it. But if I had money, bro, I would be doing so much more. Like, I would love to just be at different places surfing, I would love to just be like just at cool places. No, I wouldn't even travel all the time. Like I'm not really like a travel junkie. Like I'm not trying to just go backpack through like Asia or something. Like I would just go to cool places to surf, and I would go watch my favorite soccer team play, Real Madrid, and I would love to do stuff like that. And I think that's why I'm like so like, oh, I want to pass my funded, I want to get funded, all this stuff, and like progress my trading, is because I want to have money to do, like everyone wants to have money to do the things they want. Like I'm not some unique person saying that. Like it's not some groundbreaking information. Oh, like who would have thought that he wants money so he can have freedom? But that's why we're all doing this, man. And I think that's what's causing me to like want to pass stuff so bad and like rush the process, because I know that one, two, or all, not one, two. But I know that also if I were to just like have money coming in trading, I could actually build a cool personal brand, because I could actually do cool stuff, right? I live at home with my parents right now, and I just trade, and I look at my computer, and then after I finish trading, I just work out. I just work out and I trade, and I run. That's all I do. Like I don't have anything special going on. So that's why it's hard to build a personal brand, because what I'm doing right now is just very boring. Like no one wants to watch someone's lifestyle where they just live at home with their parents and they trade unsuccessfully for now, and then they just work out and run. Like it's just the basic lifestyle of like a lot of people. So gosh, like it's like I almost feel like trading is just like that final front. Like once I have like really just money, but like trading's how I want to make money. And it's like, dude, once I can just get this down and be like printing money, then it's like it feels like it'll solve all of the problems of my life, and I'll be able to do all the things I want to do. Which just I might end up realizing that, like everyone always says, money doesn't buy happiness. So I would love to find out, right? It's just like that's kind of where I'm at, bro. I felt like rambling. I felt like ranting a little bit, like that at the end of the charting session. So if anyone made it through all that, I appreciate you. And just yeah, I don't really have a conclusion for all those things I was bringing up and talking about. Just something I wanted to get off my chest and kind of talk about. Yeah, I don't really know how to wrap that part up, to be honest. But yeah, feel free to comment on anything I just said, and let me know whatever if you have anything to say. But I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, this is becoming just. I never thought I would hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube on anything, if I'm being honest, because I always knew YouTube was so hard to grow on, and we're at 1,000. You probably won't be able to see 1,354. So that's very solid. We consistently get videos that get over 500 to 1,000 views. It's just so cool to see. So I appreciate everyone that's made it this far. And we'll come back hopefully tomorrow with a trade, bro. I'm itching for a trade, man. So hopefully come back tomorrow with a trade. Not really anything going on today. This has been pretty trash, but I love you guys, and peace.